Hello and welcome to A Gypsy's Kiss, the vlog. I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Eunice. Stick with us a couple of seconds and you'll learn more about this smiling face behind us.
So who's this guy looking over our shoulder?
This guy is Mike Cowling. He has a YouTube channel called Cowlazars. And he spends a lot of time talking about the various treasure hunts. And most recently, he's talked about the bourbon breakfast tea and bourbon. Mm-hmm. And he spends a lot of time talking about Forrest Fenn's treasure. So I thought we'd do a little interview while we could.
Okay.
So.
Hello, Mike. Can you hear us, Mike?
Yeah.
Hello. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your YouTube channel.
Well, I moved out here to Las Vegas in 2007, and shortly thereafter, there was a local Vegas author who came out with a treasure hunting book called Vegas Die. I had been aware of treasure hunts before, but I had never actually been in the city where the treasure hunt was taking place. So I got involved in the book. The author hid a dagger, which was an object from the book, somewhere in Las Vegas, and whoever found it would get $25,000. So I got to know the author. I was actually on the local news twice, being interviewed about the hunt. It went 2 years, and while nobody found the dagger, it ended up being inside the library here in Las Vegas. And I had actually gone to the library. I had found one of the clues to the location, but it never occurred to me that it was inside the library. The dagger was actually the picture of a dagger on a bookmark. So that's what got me into treasure hunting. And then after that, of course, I found out about Forrest Fenn. I do have a YouTube channel where I talk about various treasure hunts. And I'm here with Chris and Eric, as you can see, and they're in the videos sometimes, and we're having a lot of fun with it.
Good. So how did you get involved in the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt?
I think it was about early 2013. I had saw it online, like so many people. And after doing some research, I found Dale's blog. I found Chase Chat, read all I could on the forums, and then finally ordered both books. And it's been a lot of fun. You know, I've kind of put it to the side at some point, but it's always been in the back of my mind. I think like everybody that's read the books and that's got interested.
So what can you tell us about the breakfast, tea, and bourbon treasure hunt?
So breakfast, tea, and bourbon, Pete Bissonette is out of Minnesota, and it was a treasure hunt for $50,000. He hid something in the United States. He didn't want to say what it was, but it related to the story. So I reached out to him because I was doing the vlogs, and he's a nice guy. You know, we did an interview while the treasure hunt was ongoing, and then I did an interview with him and the family that actually found it after the treasure hunt was over. And it was nice just being able to talk to an author while the treasure hunt was going on. So the treasure ended up being in Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas. And it was a lot of fun. It was interesting. There was a forum set up, a lot of people, a lot of discussion. And I had a lot of fun making the videos for the treasure hunt.
So now that the breakfast, tea, and bourbon treasure hunt is completed, and you spent a lot of time researching it, what did you learn now that it's completed, and after you recently conducted an interview with the 4 treasure finders? So what conclusions have you come to as a result of A, the treasure being found, and B, those conversations with the treasure finders?
Well, the breakfast, tea, and bourbon had some intentional misdirection in it. And what you've got to do, I think, for all treasure hunts is if you have a solution and you actually go and look and you don't find what you're looking for, you need to revise your solution. You need to change it. Sometimes you just have to admit, you know, that you're playing wrong. The family that did find it, they went to the park and searched for 5 hours, came up empty-handed. They went back home and regrouped, and they realized where they'd made an intentional wrong turn. They went back 2 weeks later, and they walked right to where it was. So my takeaway from it is, 1, regroup. Don't always hold on to that solution that you know is right, because it might not be. But the other thing is, a lot of people had went there and looked, and a lot of people I had talked to said it can't be there because I've searched everywhere. You got to really go yourself. You can't depend on somebody else to say it's not there. You make the trip and go yourself if you really think it's there.
So is there anything that you learned from the breakfast, tea, and bourbon treasure hunt that you believe applies to the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt?
Well, I don't think there's any intentional misdirection in Forrest Fenn's poem, but I think searchers make their own misdirection. A lot of people just disregard what Forrest has said about the poem. When you guys posted the radio interview about where warm waters halt being the first clue, I still talk to people that still think the first clue was in the first stanza. They just, for whatever reason, they don't want to believe it because it goes against the solution they've had for so long. And if you believe he put the treasure chest out there like he said, you got to believe what he says after the fact. So what I take away from it is don't make it harder than what it is. I think the poem's a lot simpler than people think it is at this point.
So since you do have an interest in finding the Fenn's treasure, what are your plans for searching?
I would definitely like to get out and take a search. If I can come up with a location that makes sense. I'd like to do it a little bit down the road when these guys are a little bit older so they could go with me. But the others, I would like to attend Fenbury next year. So I'd like to put some faces to the names of a lot of people that I've been talking to. And it's been a lot of fun making the YouTube videos, and I hope to continue on. So hopefully I can meet everybody at Fenbury next year.
Well, it sounds like you don't think the treasure is going to be found in the next 8 or 9 months, then.
I don't. You guys know, every year we hear, this is the year it's going to be found, this is the year it's going to be found, and then it's not. So, a 10-inch by 10-inch box somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, I think we could still go another 20 years, honestly. We'll see. Time will tell.
So, because we ask everybody the same question, what state do you think the treasure is located in?
I've always been partial to New Mexico. Just like you guys put in your blog, the warm waters with the New Mexico fishing regulations. To me, that makes the most sense at this point. I still keep an open mind. If I hear something else that will override that, then I'll go with that. But at this point, I've always been partial and kind of looked around online in New Mexico.
Well, what's neat about that particular part of our solution, and now yours to some extent, is that it doesn't require much imagination, right? You don't have to, it says warm waters, and then there are geographically exact locations where the warm waters halt. So it doesn't require a lot of manipulation in order to make it fit into the poem. Now, some people argue that, well, that would be way too simple, when in reality it's not quite that simple at all.
Right, true. And even if you find the correct location of where warm waters halt, you still got 8 other clues you've got to go through.
Exactly.
So, yeah, even though I think the solution might be simple and somewhat straightforward, it's still going to be difficult to actually find the box.
So I know you're giving away something to increase the number of your subscribers. Why don't you tell our viewers about what you're doing?
Yeah, I am giving away a copy of the Thrill to Chase Forrest Fenn's book. If anybody needs a copy, you can check out my channel, Cowlazars. All I need you to do is send me a postcard in the mail. Give me an address to ship it to, and just tell me a short blurb about why you want the book and where you're at on your search. And when I hit 1,000 subscribers, which I'm hoping will be next month, that'll be the 1-year anniversary of when I started making these videos. I'll do a random drawing, and one person will get that book.
And where can people find your snail mail address?
It's in the description of every video. So if you go to Cowlazars, Cowlazars, I know it sounds like Cowlazars, but I pronounce it Cowlazars. You can see. Hang on. You can see the. You'll see the address. It's in the description of every video.
Actually, when I first found your YouTube channel, I told Shelley it was Cowlazars simply because of the cow and the laser. So I thought it had something to do with all that, the conspiracy about cows being disemboweled. So.
And that's fine. I'll take Cowlazars. It kind of makes more sense, I think, you look at it. And plus the picture that I use. So, yeah, that's fine.
Do you have any other questions for Mike?
Do you have any other further plans for your YouTube channel? An expansion?
Just new treasure hunts. I actually got a new treasure hunt book in the mail. It's not a new hunt, but it's new to me. So I'll definitely be putting any other treasure hunts that come out. There's also a new one that's supposed to come out at the end of the year. So I'm hoping to get some details on that and let everybody know about it at that time.
Good. We look forward to hearing about both of those from you. We pretty much stay focused on the Fenn treasure, but we like hearing not only from other Fenn treasure hunters, but from other hunters of other treasures. So we look forward to seeing them and keep tabs on your channel. So.
All right. Thanks. Toby, Shelley, thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Mike, thanks for joining us today. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us.
See everybody.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah.
We should do more of that.
We should. So if you have a channel that you would like to promote, or if you're a searcher who's had boots on the ground and you've got some great stories to tell, we can do a Skype interview. So let us know in the comments or send us a private message through YouTube.
Nice.
And we'll make that happen.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching A Gypsy's Kiss, the vlog. I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Eunice. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.